Yeah, so the second motor lasted about 12,000 miles. I'm doing all my warm-up procedures correctly, and I'm doing everything at this point. You know, after like the second motor, you can't help but to start asking yourself, like, okay, is something that I'm doing wrong? This is kind of an impromptu video because I was not planning on talking anything about the Shelby this week. This week we're actually going to be dedicating to the vet and starting that build. But the news that I got from this past week about the Shelby, I figured I had to. It's not good. I took the Shelby to the Ford dealership to get some problem resolved with the exhaust. And what was going on, I'm pretty sure it was the valve inside the actual piping was loose. So anytime I was above like 1,000 RPMs, it was just metal on metal, just rattling. So it sounded terrible. So I took it to the dealership to try and get that fixed. Although it's exhaust, the warranty that I have would technically cover it because the valve is like mechanical. So they would cover that part. So I was going there to get like a whole new exhaust system. And so we're gonna go on a quick bike ride real quick. I usually knock out like 30 to 45 minutes every day, just depending on what kind of time I have. Before we put this thing up, you guys let me know what you want to see from this car, because the only thing that we've done is some Corsa exhaust, and then we did like a wrap, I believe, on the trunk and the hood. I might be mistaken though, but I mean, there's so much stuff that we can do to this. My like dream build for the Challenger is to get some nice slicks on the rear, and then have like a nice like raked or like a staggered setup kinda. Because I think that these things just look freaking sick whenever they're kind of like going down the road like this. Anyways, we went to the dealership to get the exhaust replaced, and I show up, give them the keys to the car, they take it back. They come back like 10 minutes later and they're like, hey, you know you need a new motor, right? As you would probably expect, I'm shocked because I'm like, okay, I came here for a new exhaust, not a new motor. They walked me through their test that the tech took and everything, and he was saying that essentially each piston wasn't firing at the correct compression rate that it was supposed to, and cylinders 5 and 7 were misfiring. So they're like, yeah, we really think that you need a new motor. The car, as you know, has like close to 95,000 miles. So I don't have any kind of factory warranty or anything like that, which thankfully the last 2 motors were covered under a powertrain warranty. But what I do have is an aftermarket warranty through Fidelity, and you know, for the most part, they've covered pretty much everything. Like I had an AC failure or multiple AC failures, and they covered that. But all right, we had to stop because there's just too much traffic. But essentially, Fidelity's process with something this major is to send out an inspector to, I guess, make sure that the engine actually needs to be replaced, and to also make sure that it wasn't on my part as far as the engine failing. I probably won't hear anything until tomorrow, Monday, on whether or not the motors are going to be covered. But there's a white dude driving that.
What?
Yeah, it's an old white dude. Yeah, if the engine doesn't get covered, then we will probably sell the car. That's really nice. Shit, if we end up selling the Shelby, I might end up getting a damn Hummer. But why was she cheesing so hard?
He's looking at me. What do you mean?
Okay, so course, I've been thinking about what to replace the Shelby with. If you're coming from Instagram, you probably already know that we're planning on getting a Viper anyways, but the Viper right now just doesn't make any sense because in the next 6 months or so, my girl and I will be moving into a house. So me making a $100,000 something purchase doesn't make any sense. So in the meantime, I'm either just going to have to sell the Shelby and just use that money for the house, or get like an E92 M3, which wouldn't really make sense because I heard that those have almost like the same issues as the 350s, or like a C6 Z06,
Yeah.
or a C6 ZR1, or maybe even like a C7 Z06. I wouldn't mind those because those are like relatively cheap. So we'll see.
Relatively cheap.
So those are like, because they're like in the 65s or like 70s, but with the money from the Shelby, I mean, it would help knock it down a little bit. And that's way better than the $100,000 Viper.
I thought Z06s were going for like 90 right now.
No, C7 Z06s are like between 65 and 75. And like the really high mileage ones are like high 50s.
Yeah.
So, and I think that, I mean, from what I heard, those cars don't really have as many issues as the 350s. So, I mean, that may be a better purchase, but again, it's the fact that I'd be going back into debt right before getting a house, so it just doesn't make any sense. That's just an if. I mean, we don't really want to think about that right now because, you know, best case scenario, we get the new motor, it gets covered, and then we can keep the Shelby until we end up getting our house, and then we can move along with the Viper and everything else. So, if you're wondering what happened with the first 3 motors, and I went over all this in the maintenance video, but if you haven't caught it, so the first motor we had to replace at 8,000 miles because that one was burning too much oil. Pretty common. I think pretty much everyone has heard that before. Before you ask, yes, that was a Gen 1 motor. The second motor lasted about 12,000 miles. That one spun a rod bearing, which sucks because, again, I've been extremely persistent with getting the oil changed as frequently as you're supposed to. I'm doing all my warm-up procedures correctly, and I'm doing everything at this point. It sucks because, you know, after like the second motor, you can't help but to start asking yourself, like, okay, it's something that I'm doing wrong, and I know for a fact I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to. So we're now coming into the third motor, and the third motor, I had that one between 20,000 and 90,000 miles, so like a little over 70,000 miles. So that one lasted pretty decent time. It's always been a different issue each time we've had a motor replaced. So I guess that kind of reassures to me that, like, okay, if I actually was the reason why these motors are getting replaced, then maybe it would be the same exact issue every time, but it hasn't been the same exact issue every time. So I pulled over to kind of show you guys what the plans are going to be for the C8. One of the first things that we're going to be doing is lowering this thing because it needs lowering. I want to throw some wheels on there, but that probably won't happen until like the next 6 months or so. And then we have some like smaller mods that'll kind of cover like these open areas in the radiators and stuff like that. There's like some mesh kits that you can buy, but after we get the springs and everything else like that uploaded or installed, finally do an exhaust system. I don't think it really like needs an exhaust that bad, because I mean, it sounds good honestly from the factory. What I like about this car so much, man, is that it's really like it's a really good platform to build on, honestly, because from factory, like it looks sick. So I mean, if you just lower it, fix your fitment, grab some wheels, maybe throw on like a front splitter or something like that, I'm okay with the wing. I'm gonna throw up a picture of a build that I really like from this guy that you guys probably follow named Gabe Florida. But in my opinion, he had the sickest C8, even still to this day. He sold it, but I mean, you guys let me know. We're gonna be starting the build series here like pretty soon, and we're gonna be doing all that stuff ourselves. I was gonna wrap the video up a second ago, but I forgot that there are some comments that you guys left on one of the most recent videos. So I'm just gonna, I guess, address some of those now since it's just way too many to kind of respond to.
Pretty confident the worst thing about the GT350 is the owners, but that works too.
Okay, yeah, so this guy is essentially saying what everyone else was saying, not only on this in this comment section, but like I posted this situation in Facebook too, in the Shelby Facebook owners group, and I went and looked at this guy's page, and the guy's only had his Shelby for like 4 months compared to the 6 years that I've had mine. So I responded, I'm like, dude, like, you know, respectfully, you've had your car for 4 months, I've had mine for 6 years. Like, you don't even know what like you're going to be dealing with here in the future. A lot of these guys that have Shelbys or these 350s think that just because they haven't had an issue themselves, or a lot of people think that because they know someone who has a Shelby that hasn't had a problem themselves, they think that that accounts for the 20,000 plus Shelby owners. That's just not the case, dude. It's not the case.
Fourth motor? Yeah, this is a driver or tune issue, not motor.
Yeah, so just like everyone else that's assuming that I'm the reason why the freaking motors keep failing. I mean, you guys let me know if there's anything different that I need to be doing. Like I said, I'm warming the car up to the right temp. I'm shifting below 3K before it gets to the right temp. I'm getting the oil changes as consistently as I'm supposed to. One thing I think that I probably could change is using AMSOIL instead of Motorcraft, because Motorcraft is what each Ford dealer uses. I think that's what Ford recommends. So maybe I can start using AMSOIL. A lot of guys message me and said that that's what they've been using and that they've had no issues. So
when a digital creator kills 4 engines, maybe it's time for an EV.
I think the only EV I would buy right now is the freaking what's the Porsche, the 4-door Porsche. The only EV that I would buy right now is the Taycan wagon, which I'm pretty sure it has a name, but that's the only thing that I would buy.
It's gonna be hard to see you